How's it going, everybody? I am Preston Johnson.
Welcome to
Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV.
As a general philosophy.
That's exactly right. You're a fish.
Qwan, by the way, my producer, Qwan Young, doing a good job. He'll be taking the calls. How you doing today, bud?
Hey, man, how are you?
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Welcome to the show, Bets TV, bringing you Last Word Cheetah. Welcome back, everybody, to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV. We are here in the studios in Southern California. I am Preston Johnson, ready for another show, another slate that includes our show here. We take your calls, we talk through your bets, we track them. At the end of the month, we'll be giving away some cash to those that have the best record in September. We also have day one of Who Wants to Be a Betting Extraordinaire at 2 o'clock Pacific here in about an hour. And then another edition of Steam Morning with Right Angle Sports. They'll be releasing another college football pick. They are now 4-2 so far on our weekly releases there. So that'll be the hour after that, 3 o'clock Pacific. So we got a nice little run coming. We got Qwan behind the table. How are you doing today, bud?
Listen.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I want you guys to recognize I won the bet on Monday. This is only the beginning. The champ is here. It's not my show yet, but when Preston leaves a few days in the future, it'll be my show. Please recognize.
How mad were you that we didn't have a show yesterday?
I was so mad. I had that prepared on Monday night.
You rushed to the store Monday night to buy a belt.
No,
couldn't wait.
Old.
Yeah, I bet.
It is. Listen, man. Defensive back of the year, right?
Look, guy hits 1 3-teamer, and he's the best that there ever was. And somehow used 51.5 for the Packers over in his 3-team.
All I do now is open up the app and see what I want to bet. Like, I've done that consistently.
For this weekend?
Yeah. Like, not even this weekend. I almost fired a live bet on the Mariners last night. I think they were like plus 160 or something live, and they were ahead. So I missed that one, but it's about to get bad. I know it for sure.
Interesting. Was it early in the game?
No. I think it was like right before they went ahead late in the game.
Yeah, maybe you had a bad price there. You should have bet it. It happens occasionally with live lines. Look, congratulations on your double. I'm not trying to take away from you, but take a W. It's fine. But it's 1 3-teamer, and you don't remember you were like 5-11 the 2 weekends before that.
That's in the past.
6-11. All right. Look, today we're going to catch up. Yesterday, Tuesdays typically do my college football totals, so we'll be getting to that the back half of the show. I think there's 6 college football totals as of 2 hours ago that I thought were still worthwhile versus the current market in my projections. So we'll roll with that. Then we obviously have the other 2 shows coming in after. The phone lines might be in better shape than they have been. That's the rumor. That's
661-515 bets is back.
We're back, we think. If people are getting kicked off, though, then we're not back. We'll find out. Look, we do have a call. We'll take it. I know people wanted to call in and talk about what happened Monday. I don't really remember what happened on Monday, but Qwan can give me a few reminders, as can you guys. Go ahead and, just patch them through. Whoever's up first, let's put them through, and we'll get going.
All right, cool.
All right. Joey, you're up, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Welcome back. What are you looking at for football this weekend? College, NFL, baseball? What do you think?
Well, I need to catch up. I had a bad pick on Monday, so for the leaderboard, I want to go Phillies alternate run line -1.5 tonight.
Okay.
Was it around plus 198 on FanDuel? I don't know if you got anything better.
Let me pull up one other book. I can give you an alternate run line. On the Phillies, you have Aaron Nola going up against Max Fried and the Braves.
Yep.
Hold on. They're trying to give me like a boost. I don't care about the boosts. Come on. Doo-doo-doo. What was the price that you saw at FanDuel?
198.
All right, I'm almost to the screen. I guess you guys are probably going to be trying to catch up, so I should leave up this baseball for a while. I can give you plus 1 98. That is the best one of the two I just looked at. So I'll give you the 198. We'll lock you in almost 2-1
good.
on the Phillies. Any reasoning, by the way, outside of just taking a shot on an underdog?
Well, big game. They need to win the division. They got to win this game pretty much. Season on the line.
Easy enough. Cool, man. Good luck tonight, and we will talk to you later on.
All right, thanks. Take care.
Take care. That sounded normal, by the way. The phone call, everything. Don't want to jinx it, but who's up next?
We don't talk about the no-no. We got Andrew in Chicago.
All right, Andrew. Welcome back to Last Word Cheetah. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We are doing well. What are you looking at? You going baseball or football for the weekend?
I'm going teaser NFL, try and get ahead of the line movement.
Okay.
I want to go and tease the Ravens. And I was thinking either the Packers or the Seahawks. Which one? Talk that through with me.
Sure. So Ravens is a little tougher. There's one spot I can still give you 7.5, but they're down to one or pick most other spots. So I'll give you that.
Right.
And then you said you wanted to do Green Bay or Seattle.
Right. So I just think Big Ben is washed. I mean, he should have retired last year. Their defense is good, per usual, but they've got a lot of injuries over there. Packers are finding their groove. They're pretty healthy, minus the O-line at the moment. And then Seattle, I mean, that Seattle 49ers game, always a pretty close game. So that would be a lot more points. That would be about 9.5, whereas the Packers would be a pick at that point.
So I'm going to give you something you don't want to hear. If we're being honest with ourselves and trying to bet advantage teasers, the 7.5 on Baltimore is good. Teasing the Packers from 6.5 to pick, not generally advisable. You want to be able to go through the 7 and the 3. Look, the market thinks they should only be 6.5. For now, I wouldn't do that. You'd be better off just laying the 6.5, technically. On the Seattle side, it's interesting because there's a few 2.5s, which then you're like, okay, I'm teasing 2.5 up to 8.5. I'm getting through the 3 and 7. That's profitable. But you can also just bet +3 in the market, which is also better than teasing to 9 or 8.5. So it's interesting because the line's kind of sitting 2.75. There are a few flat 3s, though, which would also be more advisable than a teaser. But Seattle is much closer to a profitable teaser leg than Green Bay. So I would use Seattle personally, and you can get 9. You can get the 7.5 on Baltimore and then 9 on the Seahawks.
Well, then let's roll with the most points possible. I like both of them outright to win, but you can never really be sure this early in the season. So let's go ahead and just ride with the Ravens Seahawks teaser then.
Cool. We'll lock you in for that, man. Good luck. We'll talk to you later on.
Thanks, guys.
You never know, even late in the season, if a team loses or wins. Teams just lose. Sometimes it happens. Who's up next? Patrick.
Hey,
welcome to the show, man. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, can you go on record on what the hell happened on Monday? I could swear was that nut milk seemed like it was like laced with something. You did not see yourself.
Well, look, I was getting into.
Am I reading that?
No, you were getting it. I was getting into a groove, but I had already told Qwan Sunday night, like, we got to do this. And I think I was just trying to, like, train myself to get into some weird, funky mood. And just, look, everyone from the stupid NFT community, Cool Cats thing was, like, dumping milk all over their faces. And I was like, I just got to do it. Like, there's nothing else going on. So I just went with it. But I don't know. Some people out there think the milk was laced with something. Maybe Qwan added something to the milk when I wasn't looking. There were 15 cups. You're not a roofier, huh?
I'm not a roofier.
Okay, can we make a shirt that says "I'm not a roofier" that you wear on the show?
Yeah,
thanks.
We need that.
By the way,
just saying,
Patrick,
you seemed a lot happier than you normally do.
A lot happier?
Yeah, you seem jolly, very jolly.
Look, I got back from Vegas. I lost money. I had a good time though. I mean, it was fun. I'll tell you this. I think I was probably overcompensating for the fact of how exhausted I was. That night, I fell asleep. I was telling Qwan later at like 8:30. And I woke up on the couch at 11:30, and then I went up to bed right after that. Like, I was just so tired, and I think I knew that I needed to try to be more chipper and get into it. So it was probably me just psyching myself into it. But I appreciate the observation. Regardless, we're back. Everything's okay. I think I'm normal again. And you're in second, by the way, for the month. So do you want to hit us with something for baseball?
Well, you know what? I'm going game tomorrow, so it'll still count for the September standings.
It will. Yep.
Okay. I want James Robinson over reception yardage. It was 20.5 yesterday, but you decided not to have a show. So it moved to 22.5, but I'm still going to go over that.
Yeah, we knew.
And that's at FanDuel and DraftKings. So you knew that was going to move 2 yards on me.
Yep.
So
if this lands 21 or 22, I will actually laugh pretty hard. I'm just going to confirm there's not a better option for you, but I'm pulling it up now.
I've looked at a few places. That's the best I've seen.
Yeah, 22.5. It's 23.5 at DraftKings even. So it's trickling up. You think Jags are just going to be down, throwing often enough?
Yeah, I think it's going to be game state, and I don't know if you remember what happened in the Steelers game last week. Najee Harris had 14 receptions. Dalvin Cook, he smoked the Bengals week 1, too, in the passing game, too. So I think, I don't know if schematically that's a problem, but I think due to game state, his usage, I mean, Carlos Hyde, his snap count is very low. So James Robinson, he's the guy there. I think he's going to go over this. So
we'll lock you in for it, man. We'll see what happens. Who's up top? Tom Davis again, right, Qwan? All right.
Yeah. What else is new?
Yeah, he just never loses, really. No parlays, doesn't matter. Now he's still ahead, but he's not ahead by much. So you win this and he loses, you'll be in good shape.
All right.
Cool, man. We'll talk to you later on. Take care.
See you, Preston.
I haven't watched the Monday show back, but maybe I should. Was it that funky? Did you watch it much when you were? I know you edited the one milk chugging clip thing that I posted, but
there was
but outside of the fact that I was trying to be goofy with the milk, like
no, I mean there was a mix up with the Seattle Sounders and the Mariners, and that's about it.
Yeah, because someone said they wanted a draw, so I just went to soccer.
It was good.
Yeah. All right, I'll have to watch it back.
It's as good as you expect coming back from Vegas.
That's a good way to put it. All right, who's up next? We'll take the call.
We got Jamie from Atlanta.
Right on. Jamie, how's it going, man? Welcome back.
Hey, doing well.
What do you have for us today? You going baseball or looking ahead for the football weekend?
You know, I got in late in September, so I'm not going to chase that around.
Okay.
Although, you know, there's always KBO, but there's not
always
else anyways. So, wanted to get your thoughts on a couple though. Was looking either Michigan money line, which I'm still surprised that they're favored and they flipped early in the week and then kind of flipped back, or was also looking with Missouri -3.
Okay, well, on Monday I actually went over the Michigan-Wisconsin game. I didn't even notice that today. Yeah, this is up as high as -2.5 now. I liked Wisconsin +1 and pick. I thought it was an overreaction to. I mean, like, what is it that you really like about Michigan football? This is what happens every year. They play their cupcakes early. Now, Washington, maybe you don't count typically as a cupcake. Western Michigan's been pretty good since they lost to Michigan. I'll give you credit there, but, like, you beat Northern Illinois, who's way down, generally even better in the MAC than this year. Rutgers, you win at home by 7, and Rutgers was missing their 2 best defensive backs, their corners. I don't know, like, I guess Michigan's been upgraded a little bit, and Wisconsin obviously didn't look very good against Notre Dame. But what we did on Monday, when I apparently was extremely happy, jolly, is we went through the box score and some of the stats with the Notre Dame game. Look, one of the teams in Notre Dame, Wisconsin, had 70 more yards. One of the teams rushed for only 3 yards total. One of the teams outgained them by over a yard per play. One of the teams was 1 of 14 on third down. Like, there was just some of these things sticking out. Like, how does Notre Dame rush for 3 yards on the road in Wisconsin and win the game? Right? Like, it just doesn't happen very frequently. Well, when Wisconsin goes 1 for 14 on third downs, and I remember looking back, and, like, all of them were 3rd and 10 or less. Like they weren't like they were stuck in all these penalties that were 3rd and 20, 3rd and 15. They just couldn't convert any, and Cohn threw like 3 pick sixes. Excuse me, not Cohn. He's on Notre Dame now. Mertz. So I don't. Can Mertz just totally be awful again against Michigan? Sure, but I just think it's an overreaction both ways, and like Wisconsin for sure should be a favorite at home to Michigan in my opinion. So that's why I liked it at +1 pick, and probably should be more like -3. I don't know if it'll get there, but it's pushing that way. So those are my thoughts. I just kind of have to buy low and sell high at the same time in this matchup.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
As far as Missouri goes, though, real quick, I have nothing there. I think it's a pretty fair number, but I don't hate it. I'm pretty sure I was around 3.5, and you can get 3 in the market.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, I was seeing like a 3 even money even. Yeah, I mean, both of them were a little bit more of going against the other team. Like your points are well taken with Wisconsin and even Michigan for sure, but just have seen nothing that interested me in Wisconsin. But to that point,
it's ugly.
So I'm a Big Ten guy. I'm an Ohio State fan. So, but even then, just was feeling a little bit more confident in Michigan, but equally not trusting Tennessee at all, especially with Missouri at home. So I'll
another thing I should mention, I'll just interject real quick. Yeah. I don't think Michigan's, I'm looking now, I'm pretty sure they haven't played away from home yet. Like they've just been cooking at home, sleeping in the same bed all year. And now they're going in to play Wisconsin. Look, it's still tough to go and play Wisconsin, even if Wisconsin isn't quite as good as we expected. But they could have beat Penn State still. They ran like 93 plays and somehow lost that one. The Notre Dame final score is extremely biased or skewed. So anyways, that was just another point I wanted to make. Look, this isn't a spot to like buy high on Michigan and sell low on Wisconsin. I think it's totally backwards to bet Michigan here. Maybe just pass altogether, but yeah, couldn't play the Wolverines.
Yep, totally got you.
All right, man. You want us to lock you in though for the Missouri -3 +100?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll do that.
That sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right. Good luck. Talk to you later on.
Yep.
Who we got next? Nice, Saurabh. I feel like it's been a while since we've talked to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How about you?
Likewise. Doing well. What are you looking at? You going football this weekend?
Yes, I want to go NFL. What do you have in the total on Dallas to Carolina?
77.
What was that?
77. You want to bet over, right?
No, I want to take the under.
Really? Oh, wow. I was just assuming you wanted over because it's Dallas and Carolina. Okay, well, 50.5 is the total. That's the real total. So you can play under there. There's no 51s that I see right now.
I'll take the under in that one.
All right, break it down. I'm surprised you like under.
No, I mean, the Carolina defense is pretty good. I think they're number 5 in DVOA. And McCaffrey's going to be out for them offensively. I think the Dallas defense has been playing better than expected. Parsons has been a beast. They've been, lining him on the outside for pass rush. The secondary's actually been holding up pretty well. And, I'm not too afraid of Darnold, so I think this is a couple points too high.
So I have a question for you. You could totally be right, but also it's worth considering that you, Qwan, myself, and 8 other callers could probably field a top 5 defense against the Jets and the Texans. I think that's a fair assumption. Now, the Saints win. It was nice, especially after the Saints were all happy with Jameis throwing 5 TDs against Green Bay, who just, their D stinks anyways. I'm a little concerned with the Carolina, jumping to, hey, they're a top defense. I would hold my horses a little bit. But if you're right, then you're for sure getting value here. I'm just not sure I can overreact to Texans and Jets games, especially considering the Texans was Davis Mills post Tyrod Taylor and how bad. Look, they only won that Jets game 19-14. I know they dominated it for the most part, but look, the Jets haven't scored since. Period. I don't know. I just can't put too much stock into those. So I don't necessarily disagree overall. It's a pass for me, but we can lock you into the 50.5. Appreciate the breakdown, man. Good luck.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Man, Qwan, every day I'm like, should I put the Zach Wilson BYU helmet back on the desk? No. And I'm like, poor guy. All right, I'll put it back up. Try to root for him.
What defense will we run?
I mean, I can just play free safety and we run the blitz all, and I got everyone.
Who's the other corner?
No, we're blitzing everyone.
We're blitzing everyone.
Yeah, I got it covered in the back.
Let's get it. Call him Ed Reed. We got Hayden from Dallas up.
How's it going, Hayden? Welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Yo, what's up? How about some Cowboys?
You've done well with the Cowboys so far. I will give you that. Credit where credit is due. Are you going to bet them again this week?
Well, I mean, I was gonna say if you could find an Alabama 2 touchdowns or below, but the caller right before me said he likes the under. So I'm just gonna take Cowboys -5 on the show. I mean, it's that easy.
All right. Well, first off, yeah, Alabama, you're not getting under 14. There's like 114 at all, and it's juiced on the 14 side.
Oh, really?
And I can give you 4.5 though on Dallas, -4.5. There's one -4 at DraftKings, so I'll give you -4 even.
Yes, please. Yes, that is great.
So,
I mean, you kind of broke it down with the last caller. I mean, the Panthers have beat the Jets and Texans, and they looked good, but then they're playing probably the best offense in the league, unbiasedly, of course. So give me the Cowboys anything under a touchdown here.
wow, he's willing to lay 6.5. That's bold. You could sell some
I don't
points.
know. Oof. What's the 6.5?
I don't know. I'd have to pull up an actual drop down from a site. I'll tell you this, though. You said Dallas might have the best offense in the league. Look, they're number 1 in success rate through the air, and I believe they're still top 7 or 8 in the run, and they're number 2 overall behind still the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs are somehow 1 and 2. I know the Chiefs still grade out number 1, but Dallas is the number 2 offense, and maybe they are number 1 when it's all said and done. And, yeah, I kind of think Carolina's in for a rude awakening personally, but I don't mind it.
Yeah,
especially
and another point just quick before I go. Dak Prescott has an expected completion percentage that's astronomically good. I think it was 88% on Monday with an ADOT of 10. So, I mean, that's insane. And he is going to light it up on Sunday.
I'll say the Eagles' defense had been at least somewhat impressive, too, before that game. So Dallas is a handful. I will give you that. We'll give you the -4. Good luck this weekend, man. Talk to you later.
Cool. See you.
Quan's having a tea party over there. Who are you talking to?
Nick from Iowa.
He's next, or you were talking?
We just answered this call. You got Jim from Philly right now.
All right, Jim, you're through to the show, man. How are you doing?
Oh, horrible. I got to
Oh, no.
follow up that Cowboys fan gloating about Monday when I'm already
Good
sick
point.
to my stomach. And, what timing.
Do you want to call back later? Take a breather?
I thought of it. I almost hung up.
All
I
right,
almost
well, what do you
want to
have
take
for us?
Panthers money line now, too. No,
You
I
should.
got a pick in the NFL. I like the Cardinals. I actually grabbed it when it
Get
was
6?
+6 and
Nice.
+200. Yeah. But I think I'll take the points here just in case. But I personally, like I said, I've told you before, I think they're, I project them to be one of the better teams in the whole league. And anytime I can get plus money with them, the Rams defense has been giving up a lot of yards. And the Cardinals offense is like a lightning rod this year, probably the most explosive in the league. And I think they're going to put on a performance on Sunday.
So let me pull it up real quick just to I'm out of curiosity. Just give me 10 seconds. By the way, the +6 was a good bet. It was just a high number. I've kind of been anti-Rams to some extent the last 2 weeks. They went 1-1 fading them. But So you're looking at the Rams defense. You're like, okay, how are they doing? Look, they haven't, like, from a success rate perspective, and you're talking about the yards they've allowed, they've been like outside the top 20, both against the run and against the pass, which, so, part of the question mark for me on the Rams in general was losing Brandon Staley, who turned that defense into an elite squad. Moving on, going to the Chargers. Now, what are the Rams defense? What's it going to look like? It's not very deep. 1 or 2 injuries could be dangerous, etc. So I'm not against that at all. I still think, can McVay and Stafford outscore everyone? Like, it seems like it's possible, sure. But, getting 5 even. I can still give you a +5 on Arizona. I think that's the side I'd have to go with, too.
Yeah, and I mean, the Cardinals defensively, they kind of set up real well. They go well with the offense because they have such good pass rushers, kind of have a lot of playmakers on defense. They've been getting some turnovers. So, the Rams haven't shown they've been able to run the ball. I'm with you. I think they probably are going to end up outscoring everybody together. But I think getting points on a team I think is better is the way to go for me.
Fair enough, man. And I know that total's moved up a little bit from 53.5 up to 55, which kind of goes with your similar angle here, especially if the Rams defense just kind of finally regresses to their success rate mean, if we want to go call it that. So, yeah, we'll lock you in +5, man. Good luck this weekend. We'll talk to you later.
All right, see you.
Who we got next? All right, Nick, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, Preston. Feeling a little under the weather, but we're doing okay. We're good. We're powering through.
Good to hear. What do you got for us?
It happens. I'm just saying GG's to the month of September. We're going to October now, and I want to lay the 4.5 with Tulsa.
Yeah, that's probably the right side. Continue. I'll let you break it down a little bit.
It's okay. Right. I mean, Tulsa's probably one of the most misleading teams in terms of points or record versus what their actual box scores have been. Basically, obviously start with UC Davis, but they outgained Oklahoma State. They pretty much, mostly. I mean, not completely, but they were pretty close with Ohio State most of the way. And then Arkansas State, they nearly doubled up in yardage. It was like close to 700 yards of offense versus like 360. I forget the exact numbers, but and then they only won by 7. So I think, Tulsa right now is they're due for some positive regression right now. And Houston, I don't know, they really haven't played much of anybody. And then except in Texas Tech, and they got beat pretty good by them. So we'll just lay the 4.5 with them.
So you're close, 663 yards to 359. So almost double, like he alluded to. Over 300 on the ground, which is just insane. It's not like Tulsa's really known for their run game. I will say this, because we're doing totals today, and I know it's even moved, but I still think it should be a little lower. But the 55's out there, even 54.5 on under, for a similar reason. Like, you think about, Arkansas State's offense is always good. Then Ohio State and Oklahoma State's on the road for Tulsa. Their strength of schedule as far as a defense, pretty tough. I'm not sure how Clayton Tune, without weapons and a Holgerson offense, it just hasn't been nearly as good. And Tune's injured. He's not 100%. He almost didn't play last week. He was basically a game time. I'm not sure where Houston gets a ton of points. And Houston's defense is strong enough. Tulsa's not dropping 41 again. So I prefer under, but I do also lean your side. And maybe a Houston team total under is worth a look for people that have that.
Sure, interesting. No, I like the way you're thinking too on that. Just so I don't want to copy, I still want to stick with the 4.5 with Tulsa, but I do think you're on the right side on that too. It makes sense. Yep.
Cool. We'll lock you in for the 4.5, and good luck. We'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
We got anyone else, Qwan? All right. Who is it?
So Tom Davis messages me on Twitter.
Oh, no.
Says, do I have a shot at the leaderboard this month? I said, yeah,
you're in first. Tom, are you through?
I didn't know.
Dude, you remember how you don't lose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if none of the guys had hit one of them touchdown scores or nothing the other night.
Nothing from that. I'll say this. The main swing is you had a football week. I think you went 5-0. So like outside of that, you're like a little over break even, right? But you're plus 5.75. So that week where you just went 5-0 on the weekend games for football has put you in first, but just barely over Patrick. So you probably need to roll with something either today or tomorrow's NFL game or college game. You can lock something in today. What are you thinking?
Well, you got to think about going to Carlos' strategy and just betting on the Cardinals.
Why is that?
Well, that's what Carlos said. They on the street. They should keep winning, right?
Look, if Carlos said it, why are you going that direction? I'm confused.
I'm revving. What do you see in the Atlanta and Philadelphia on the total? Over.
You're going baseball, right? I just want to confirm. Today?
Yes, sir.
Atlanta, Philadelphia. I can give you 8, minus 108.
All right, let's go over to 8. Hopefully they're going to jack a couple of them out for me tonight.
Okay, so Patrick is rooting against you there, and then he has a prop locked in for tomorrow's NFL game. Interesting. Okay, we'll lock you in, man, over the 8. Good luck.
All right, good luck, guys.
Take care.
Peace.
By the way, for people that are wondering the prize pool, so it was $50 off of 1,000 that I put in for each cup of milk that disappeared. And there was 11 that disappeared. So if you do some quick math, Qwan.
Don't. Listen. Oh, let me pull up
Anyway,
my handy dandy.
it's a total of $450 from me left, plus the $50 from Qwan to start the month. So there's $500 total minimum going in to the September prize pool. So Tom and Patrick playing for at least $500. Maybe we'll do one more challenge of some sort tomorrow for the September something or other. I know the last few months we've gone to $700 or $800, so maybe we'll do $100, $200, or $300 bet of some sort between us. Which, by the way, I need to think of a betting extraordinaire question for baseball today. It's day 1, if I recall, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll probably go with some small favorites, but I got to get that over to you as well. Thanks for the reminder. Who's up next?
Do my job well. We're clear.
Okay, we are clear. Then let me jump to college, although I need to give you that question. But we have some totals. So I'll pull these up. Pull up my numbers. All right, we just talked about Houston, Tulsa. That's one I think is worthwhile. Look, I have this like raw number 52.9, which generally wouldn't be quite enough to play the early week 56s it would have been. But I do think there's some inherent downside to Houston with Tune not being 100%. He is playing hurt or was barely able to even get the start this past week. So, and I believe, let me just pull this up. Yeah, the Navy game. So, I mean, they were massive favorites. They were losing mid-4th, scored twice to end up winning by 8. But that wasn't necessarily a substantial W for them or anything. And I believe Tune was pretty good, right? He was 22 for 30 for 1 touchdown. So I don't know if it's necessarily a ton to that or not. But one thing to note is that Navy, not good. So this is a huge step up in class, which Nick was referring to and alluding to. Anyway, he likes the Tulsa minus the 4.5. I think both plays are okay. We will move on to the next one. I am going back. Look, we bet Kent State, Maryland on Tuesday, like over 67.5. I think I said good to 68.5. Closed 72.5. And then Kent State kicked like 9 red zone field goals and failed on 4th another few times. Then the game was out of hand, and Maryland just took their foot off the pedal. Anyways, could have easily gone over. Did not. It happens. Bowling Green just beat Minnesota as a massive underdog on the road. Wow, maybe their defense is good. Look, I don't think it actually is. It's still Bowling Green. I have the 56.5 pretty low. Got to bet it. I just going back to the well with Kent State, and ultimately just a little life lesson. If you bet over 67.5, it closes 72.5, and you lose the bet, it's okay. It was still a pretty good bet, and I'm going to trust my numbers here again that have this, I think, like 60.3. So I'll roll with it. Kent State should finish more drives against a Bowling Green defense that isn't nearly as good as Maryland's. So next up, this one is interesting. And someone was messing around with the screen earlier today. There were a bunch of 47s around, and then they all got gobbled up. But I still have 48 and 48.5 as a buy. It's 179 Arkansas, Georgia. Look, I got this at like 52. I think it's a great buy for a 3.5 to 4 point discrepancy in a total in this range. Arkansas, all credit to them. Look what they did against not only the win against A&M this last week, but the Texas win they had where they just blasted Texas is looking better and better every week because now Texas is killing everyone. Have to give them some credit, but they've also, that was for a freshman QB making his first start on the road for Texas. They played Georgia Southern and Rice, and then they got A&M's backup quarterback. This is now going on the road to Georgia and a real quarterback and an offense that ranks number one across the board in like every metric. And I think Georgia's also number one defensively in like every metric. So hopefully people got 8-1 before the season. They're good. Maybe better than Bama this year. Hopefully we get to see that play out. But I got to assume Georgia puts it on. Arkansas, the prayer is can they get to, the 14 number or something in that range. Hopefully. But I got to just trust my 52 is good. I don't think there's anything weather-related in Georgia. There was in the Kent Bowling Green game starting Sunday morning. So unless by the weekend the weather, thunder, wind, rainstorm in Ohio somehow moves up 18 hours in a couple days, which doesn't ever usually happen, we're in good shape there. But I wanted to make a point and a note because I had just seen it on my little page here. Next up, we just bet UCLA overs, and they go over. And for some reason, the market doesn't move on the total until the day of. It's a weird one that just, I don't know. There's just no agreement on these until Saturday when guys finally fire. But 55, 55.5 ASU. We're 2 for 2 on the last two UCLA overs. Part of it being that we like UCLA's offense, of course, but their defense had kind of been outperforming at a level that was just crazy dating back to last year. Fresno capitalized some. Stanford actually probably should have scored more themselves. They kicked themselves in the foot. Is that the saying? Kick themselves in the foot? Shot themselves in the foot. It's hard to kick yourself in the foot. Sounds like something I would have said on Monday, if you ask me.
The milk's taking his toll.
Still. ASU, I think their result against BYU, we talked about it, super fluky. 19 penalties to 3, 4 turnovers. A lot better against Colorado. Did they end up scoring 35? It was a 35-13. They scored 37 against UNLV, and they kind of just didn't even have to score in the fourth quarter of that game anyway and add to it. 41 against Southern Utah. Each of these defense is better than some of these teams, but ASU can hang. And I think by a pretty big margin, I trust UCLA's offense even more so than BYU's. This is going to be the toughest test for the Sun Devils defense. So just riding these overs with UCLA now at this point. I'm still 3 points higher. Going to take a shot there. Last one. There's 2 more. I forgot. I skipped one. But it's the last 3 rotations on the whole Saturday board, for what it's worth. Just coincidentally liked all 3. Over 48, 48.5, Old Dominion and UTEP. 2 teams that you never really want to bet on. And then when you're betting on an over, it's even worse feeling. But this should be like 52. UTEP's offense is at least somewhat improved and was okay last year. I think it was one of their better offensive production seasons through the air and EPA in like a decade plus. Old Dom, who hadn't played for years, actually been quite a bit better than I think people anticipated. I know they're 3-1 against the spread with a loss by a half point or something. Like they're almost 4-0 against the spread is the point. They've been a little better than anticipated. And UTEP's defense, obviously, nothing crazy. I think we'll see some points from both sides. It's one of those, like, I don't know, Qwan, if you ever – what was your vibe I know you're a defensive player anyway, but, like, what's the vibe around a team when it's like you just are so much worse than everyone you play? Maybe you never got to experience that. But you're finally playing, like, a way worse team or at least a bad team. UTEP's laying 5.5-ish. Like, wow, we're a favorite here. Like are people like, is it upbeat? Like we're gonna score a bunch of points.
How many stats am I gonna get this?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can finally get some stats in this one.
Interception. Maybe they'll throw me on offense. I get a touchdown. Please.
Let me run a kickback.
Yeah, all that.
Like, let's have some fun. I think we'll get points there. And then the last one, going back to the bottom of the rotation, 224. I couldn't tell you. I like the Fresno over again in UCLA, but then I think I found that out. It was mostly my UCLA projections and market stuff was the difference there. Now I like under. It was 66.5, 66. I know it's come down to 65.5, but this is the biggest discrepancy I have on the board, so I still would absolutely like it at 65.5. Circa randomly, 64.5, but most spots 65.5. So it's like, I don't even think I had it as high as 61. It was 60 point something. So quite a big discrepancy. I understand Hawaii's playing with quite a bit of tempo and trying to. I mean, they've given up they had an 80-point game against Oregon State. I guess I should just pull up their box score so I can reference them. It was a 72-point game. Then they just had a 62-point game against New Mexico State. They played. Obviously, UCLA earlier in the year, they gave up 44 to UCLA. Fresno could absolutely just light it up. It is possible. But I still stand by. By the way, we didn't really talk about it. But remember that Fresno State game? It was Friday night against UNLV. And UNLV was winning that game for 3 of the quarters outright as a massive underdog. And Fresno, we talked about how Jake Haener looked injured at the end of that UCLA game. I mean, he did not look 100% against UNLV. They come back and win, and he ends up throwing 4 or 5 TDs anyways. But I don't think he's 100%. So I think it's a nice little bonus. But even if he was, I think this number's too high. So anyway, rolling with the under there. 6 totals, 106 under, 169 over, 179 over, 219 over, 221 over, and 224 under. Bang.
Sing.
Yeah, is that it?
That's it. Sing.
Cool. We can take a few more calls if anyone wants to call in, get any more plays in. If they have any thoughts about college football, the slate. If not, we got to do MLB for betting extraordinaire. Should we put together the question just live? Why not?
Why not? Yeah, it would make my life easier.
Pull up the pull up the old graphic, whatever it is that you do over there. We got to do. Look, whenever I do baseball for day one question. People can beat me in rock, paper, scissors, and they get through. We got to do small favorites. Should I be extra generous? Do some there's not a lot of minus 130 options. There's a ton of smaller favorites, though. We'll just have to do that. We do have a call. All right, well, let's take that, and then I'm pretty sure I got 3 of the 4 options at least. But yeah, put them through. Evan, is it a new caller? What's up, man? How are you doing?
Doing well. I actually I played in Who Wants to Be a Betting Extraordinaire last week, and now that October is coming on the weekend, I figured I'll make my first play for the October leaderboard.
Let's do it. What do you got for us?
I'm going to lay the points with UCLA.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, tell us why. I'm a UCLA fan, so I'm all for this.
Basically, just the way the Pac-12 South is shaking out right now, this is probably one of their most critical games of the season. If they beat this, then they're looking at a pretty easy vacation to Tucson, and then that Washington game and USC game will be the 2 that will ultimately decide the conference. So I think Chip Kelly's going to have them going full steam ahead against Arizona State, knowing that they have a real chance to lock down the Pac-12 South this year.
Right on. Okay, I can give you the flat 3, minus 110 on UCLA. There are some 3.5 some places, so grab the 3. We'll lock you in for that. And, good luck this weekend, man. I appreciate the call.
Thank you. Actually, do you mind if I ask one question about your numbers?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Where you're at with Wake Forest and Louisville?
Oh, Lord. The total or the side?
The side. I'm leaning Wake Forest, but I'm just curious.
I don't know what to. I don't know what to. All right, my number's like the Louisville side, so I'll just say it like that. But not enough to bet it. But I did look at it. I'm not sure how much. I think everyone's hyping up Wake because their defense has been pretty good. It's like, wow, they only gave up 14 to Florida State. Look, Florida State hasn't beat anybody, literally. And I think Florida State had 2 fumbles at the 1 and another drive inside the 10 of Wake. They got 0. I mean, that could easily, 3 plays happen differently, and it's 35-35, and they're going OT. The Virginia game, that was impressive. They go on the road, they hold Virginia to 17, and they played well. And now everyone's like, wow, this Wake defense is for real. But them laying 7 at home now to Ville, I just don't have it that high. And I'm not sure I can buy into their defense being this good. Look, they still gave up. They gave up like 4 scores to Norfolk State in the opener. Yeah, I got to wait a little more before I give Wake the credit on that side of the ball. Are they going to score a bunch? For sure. But I think Louisville's offense is like by a pretty big margin the best that they've seen, especially as crisp as Cunningham's looked the last couple weeks.
Appreciate the time. Talk to you guys soon.
No problem. Take care. Who's up there? Cam? Cool. Yeah, put him through. We can still get to baseball in a little bit. What's up, Cam? How are you doing?
Hey, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing well. What do you got for us?
I'm going to give out a baseball play for the night, and then I just wanted to and a couple of college for the weekend. So I hit the college first just because I'm looking at it now. I'm going to give out Carolina minus 19.5. I think it's going to go to, I can see that going to 20-21 before the weekend.
It's up to 20 a lot of spots, so that's probably true. Yeah.
I'm saying 19.5 Superbook.
Yep, you could take that. I don't have an opinion in that game. I believe I liked Duke slightly. I think I was closer to 18, but not enough for me to make a bet. If it got to 21.5, I'd be betting Duke. There's no stock really in, hey, it's a rivalry.
I wanted to get under 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Duke's very good. I kind of like Carolina off the blowout loss at home last week. Or not at home this week off the blowout loss last week.
Here's the problem, though, ultimately. I don't think UNC is very good. Sam Howell lost 5 of his offensive guys to the NFL. Look, They lose to Virginia Tech. They get crushed by Georgia Tech. I know they're going to bounce back, but to be laying 3 TDs, at least nearly that, to your rival, I can't. I don't think they're as good as last year's team. They just aren't. And so I think Duke can cover.
I agree, but
yeah.
I just think Duke is significantly worse than them in my opinion. So we'll see.
We will.
I wanted to take actually on Thursday night on Miami. That moved significantly too. I had liked it at 4 when it opened. It's almost 6 now. What was your take on that game, if any? Miami, Virginia.
The main thing is that Derek King is injured, and that's why the line was so low. And he was upgraded to questionable, I believe, yesterday, and so the line started trickling up. Their backups aren't great. Obviously, King is quite a bit better under center. So if he doesn't play, I definitely wouldn't want to bet Miami. If he plays, then it's definitely short.
I have an idea about that.
So you can't. For me, it's you gotta wait for the info. Lucky if you get it early, and then you can make a decision. But otherwise, it's really just dependent on Derek King. But he at least was upgraded to questionable. I know it was more doubtful prior to yesterday. So he's trying to practice and stuff.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of weird lines this week.
Anything else you liked in college?
Nothing I like. Just real fishy. The Wisconsin-Michigan line is, I think, the fishiest line of the week.
I think I'm the only one that likes Wisconsin.
Yeah, to me, at that number, it's Wisconsin. Or you can't play Michigan to me. It just seems like Michigan looks like free money. It looks like eye candy, that candy hanging over a baby.
Yep.
And then the other line that was weird to me was the Cincy Notre Dame. I was surprised Cincy opened a favorite at Notre Dame. But
my guess is that
nothing
comes
else
down. But I think Cincinnati's much better.
Yeah,
Notre Dame's just struggled. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think that closes closer to a pick'em. So if you like Cincy, probably wait. But nothing else official for me yet in the college slate. Just Carolina. I was just wanted your take on some of those games for the night. I will go with the Braves on the money line.
Okay, that's opposite someone else today, which is okay. I can give you minus 137.
Yeah, that's what Superbook has. Yeah, I think that's the best number.
Cool. We'll lock you in for that, man. Any reasoning real quick on the Braves or just taking a shot on baseball for tonight?
I just think Philly. I think the Phillies are done. I mean, I think if they had a chance at the division, I mean, I know mathematically they're 3.5 out with 5 or 6 to play. But that loss last night, I think, kind of just sealed it pretty much, in my opinion. And last night to me, if they were gonna win and get some mojo, it'd be with Wheeler on the mound, their ace. I know Nola's not bad, but his road and home splits are kind of shaky. So Fried has been amazing since the All-Star break as well. So his ERA is 1.3 since the All-Star break in 13 starts. He pitched a complete game out west in San Diego. So I'm riding with Atlanta tonight.
Right on.
I think they put just about the nail in the coffin for the division.
We'll get it in there, man. Good luck tonight, but then obviously this weekend as well. We'll talk to you later.
I'll call in later in the week with more stuff.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, have a good one.
All right, we ready for baseball, or is there someone else on the line? Okay. Who was it? Oh, Ken, what's up, man? How are you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
I'm doing well.
So you answered one of my questions already with the last call. I was wondering what you thought of the backup at Miami. So it sounds like you're not a fan.
No, but I'll say this. Virginia's defense could make anybody good. It's definitely possible that they're just that bad. So, look,
Yeah,
I just don't want to get
I'm a big
involved
UVA
personally
fan.
yet. But
Gotcha. I'm a big UVA fan, and I think UVA is going to get crushed in this game. But it'll be interesting with the backup. I didn't think he did that bad with the FCS team last week, and he made a lot of good plays. So we'll see. But I'm going to lock in Wisconsin. I agree with you. That -1 is way too low for this game. And then I wanted to ask you, Wake Forest -6.5, hanging under 7. I have it at -12. Louisville really hasn't shown a whole lot of anything.
Man.
What's your stance on that game?
we just talked about this actually because someone else
you did?
kind of liked the Wake side. Yeah. Yeah, it was 5 minutes ago. So if you're listening back, you can just go check it out. But ultimately, I'm not sure I can trust Wake Forest's defensive performances against the Florida State. Oh, they held them to 14, but FSU had 3 drives inside the 10, 2 fumbles at the 1. It could have easily been 3 plays from tied and going to overtime at 35. The Virginia defensive performance on the road, look, I upgraded them a little bit when it was all said and done, but I'm not 100% buying the Wake defensive side. That's ultimately what I said prior. And so for me, I'm just kind of waiting another game, see what happens. So offensively, for sure, I think they're going to go back and forth. But Cunningham, he's been pretty sharp the last few weeks for Louisville. And this is their toughest test, meaning Wake's toughest test, I think, yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Appreciate it. Talk to you later.
No problem. We'll give you the 1 on Wisconsin. There's one spot, I believe, Qwan, that still has a 1. So we'll lock them in for that.
Thank you.
Doop. All right, you ready? Well, we got another one. Cool. Ty, what's up, man? How are you doing? What do you got for us?
What's up, man? I'll be quick. I want to start October off on the right foot, and I'm going to tail you on the Houston under.
Okay, I can give you 55. I'm pretty sure that's still around. Let me just double check. But you can do that, man. I like it. I believe it's a Friday night game as well, so you'll have some action there. Yep, 55. We'll give you under 55. Easy enough.
All right, I'll call back in a few minutes for the next show.
Sounds good. Talk to you then.
Thanks.
Love it. Dedicated callers.
For sure. We had a nice group. The call line actually worked perfectly. I'm not sure.
Let's not jinx it for betting extraordinaire.
Yeah, I don't know if Putin was the minions were paid off. There was legitimately some hostage situation with server hosts for phone lines.
I don't
know how much it cost, but
I went to Russia last night and took care
of it. You took care of it. That's why we had the day off yesterday. You had to make a little trip with your belt, your golden belt down there. He hits 1 3-team parlay, and he's like, I got the Russians, guys.
Send me on everything. The Qwan identity.
You ready to do this? I'm going to give you the baseball. And people that are tuning in and don't care about betting extraordinaire, we love you. You can shut down. If you do care, Cubs. -113, -110, -110. That's the best price on the Cubs side. Cardinals is the next one, also minus 110. Yankees, also minus 110. And the Indians, also minus 110. Seriously. You can shop around. Some are minus 109, 108, 112, 115. But there's spots that have minus 110 on all four of those games. Makes it pretty straightforward. Small favorites. Baseball, usually, the spread there's minus 110 plus 100. Give everyone a little bit of a chance. Take 20 calls. Get like 12 of them through maybe. And we'll see if we can make a little run like Carlos did day 6. One away from 25,000 on day 7. Anything else, Qwan?
I got nothing.
You good? Cool. We'll shut it down. We'll get ready for the new link. Appreciate those that tuned in. All of your calls. We are back. We're firing. The phone lines are working. 6 totals today in college football. Tomorrow, we'll have tail ends with Pikachu. Funny story about him, by the way, I won't get into right now, but Qwan doesn't even know about it yet. But the guy, he already talks funny. His jaw got fractured, and it was wired shut, and he's going to be talking with a wired mouth. No joke. He's going to be talking. He's eating and drinking through a straw. And he's going to try to break down games tomorrow. We'll just give it a chance, see what happens. Next, 5 minutes. Who wants to be betting extraordinaire? Talk to you guys soon.
Real quick, Ray GQ, give me the highest all OU over-under on Bama versus Ole Miss. Brand Millionaire put in his pick. Georgia, Arkansas under 48.5.
Ray wants the highest over possible, like the alt line?
Yeah.
Like there's going to be 100 points?
Yeah.
Okay.